Hello out there to all my beautiful subscribers. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Quadmft here, and in today's Call of Duty Ghosts video, we're not here to really talk about Call of Duty Ghosts. We're here to talk about something that's been going on in my life and, really hitting my heart really hard, actually. It's going to be talking about best friends. And by the way, this gameplay, it's just a little bit of infected gameplay on COD Ghosts on the Xbox One, on the map Warhawk. Not a very good gameplay. I'm the last alive, but I don't get a chem strike or anything, but whatever. And if I go on for too long, there will be more infected gameplay added on to the end. I don't have too much COD Ghost gameplay saved up. I've been really playing a lot of Battlefield 4, but today I wanted to talk about best friends like I mentioned earlier. Now, recently there was something, well, it's actually not quite that recent. It happened about a month ago, but it really hadn't hit me that hard until basically this week. Every day I would mention, well, basically, let me tell you guys the lowdown. So, my friend acted out a little bit. I'm not going to throw around names or anything. The people who know me in real life probably already know this happened and everything, so I'd be surprised if he didn't again. Not going to throw around any names, but, he acted out in real life all the time. He would just act out. Even, I don't know if he really did it online. I didn't talk to him all the time online. I mostly spent most of my time, whether being at his house or him being at mine, or just going out and doing stuff and going to events or whatever it was. It was a lot of fun. He was my best friend, and he was one of my best friends, but I don't really consider myself to have one select alone best friend, but let's just say they're all really, really close friends. So this guy, he would act out. Like, he wasn't crazy. He didn't do anything to hurt people physically. I mean, of course, everybody would call each other names occasionally. What are you gonna do? And of course, he was a smart aleck. I'm a smart aleck. Even ask both my parents. Even freaking Quadfather will tell you I'm a smart aleck. Like, I mean, what can I say? Okay, but he was a very intelligent kid, in my opinion. I mean, whether he didn't show it in school, you don't have to be smart to show it in school. You don't have to get straight A's and be in all your classes, maybe they're honors. That doesn't prove that you're smart. Maybe all your classes are pre-algebra and remedial English, but you can still be extremely intelligent. And I would say school doesn't necessarily measure you on that. I guess it measures you kind of on book smarts, but this guy, okay, so he's a smart guy and he acted out a little bit occasionally, but he didn't act out that bad. And his parents, they send him off to a school, a boarding school, which I was surprised by. I had heard it's going around. I'd heard that, maybe they were thinking about it. I know they went and visited it, which that's a pretty big step considering it's a few states away from California. But I was just surprised by this. I was like, okay, maybe they're figuring it out. Maybe they're just doing it just to show him that, this is actually a thing, that he needs to step up his game and he needs to realize that something is actually going to happen if he doesn't fix up his game and realize something's going to go better. And they actually ended up taking him off and taking him to that school, which was surprising to me because I wasn't told until after a few days, which is really weird considering I was his best friend, but I respect that. Maybe they didn't want me to interfere, and clearly, if I was a parent, I was sending my little boy off to a school. Now, he's not a little boy. He was 14, or he is 14 now, and he's still at the school right now. Again, it's only about a month in, and he's going to come back somewhere around next summer, and I am so excited to see my best friend again. I'm so excited just to talk to him. A few days ago was the first time I was actually able to send a letter to him or email him for the first time. Ever made any contact. Now, he hasn't responded yet because he's not allowed to have a Facebook, a phone, Kick, Instagram, anything like that. He's got to be completely sectioned off because they're trying to set him on right for the rest of the path for, the rest of his life, for the rest of his years. And I think it's a good idea, but I don't think he acted out that crazily to be put with some of the other kids that that he's going to be put with. I imagine that he'll be put with kids who acted out a ton in class. They couldn't control themselves, or maybe some kids that just wanted to get away, or maybe there are some parents that couldn't parent very well and had to send them off to this school. Now, this isn't a free school that you can just go to. It's a very highly expensive school, which I respect. I respect expensive private schools. I went to a private school all the way through elementary school and middle school, which I did enjoy. It had great academics, great activities, elective, all these different things. But every day, I'm going to be honest, I think of him wishing he was back, wishing I could go back, because I kind of felt like we were a little bit of a duo. He was a really cool guy, very smart, and I find myself to be an intelligent guy. I'm not the most intelligent or anything, but like street-wise, I'm book smart. I have good grades. I have a few honors classes and stuff like that, but you know, I'm not trying to say that I'm the most intelligent guy. You know, he was an intelligent guy. We were both intelligent people, and we would have really cool talks. You know, I would have an idea, and he would have an addition to the idea, or he would have an idea, and I would have an addition to his idea. It was really cool, and I don't think, well, I think actually most of you guys probably can relate to the fact that I want to go and I want to talk to my best friend when he gets back in like 6 or 7 months, and and we're just going to be able to sit down and talk. We're going to talk the whole night. We're going to talk for hours on end, because there's going to be so many different things that he's going to be able to tell me, and that I'm going to be able to tell him. That's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I like about the intimacy of being able to have a best friend, or at least a really, really close friend. It's a great feeling to know that, you know, I'm going to be able to basically say whatever I need to, and no matter what, he'll still be there and he'll still be accepting. So, again, very excited for him to come back. He'll probably watch this video when he gets back and realize, like, dude, I missed you too, or something like that. You know, well, I mean, I guess that's the most I can hope for, but either way, I think he could have been given maybe a few more chances. I don't know the really, really, really personal stuff about it, how everything went on at home. You know, I know obviously he would act out at home and at school, but either way, guys, I bet most of you probably have something like a best friend situation, or a situation like this with a family member, maybe a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, a mom, a dad, a brother, a sister, whatever it is. There's something where it just gets taken away from you, and you know, in the first month you're like, or not necessarily just the first month, the first like long period of time, you're like, okay, I didn't really notice a difference. But then after a few weeks, or after a few hours, or however long it takes you, you become like, oh my gosh, like this is a real thing. Like I actually miss this guy. Like I want to talk to him. I just want to sit down and share everything that's gone on in the past month with him, and I can't. And it's sad to see, but again, I'm very excited to see you in the future, man. I hope you're watching this video. Again, not going to say your name because I want to keep you anonymous, but hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. You know how to leave a like rating down below, because that does help. If we could try and shoot for 250 likes for helping me, you know, tell sort of a personal story without revealing any information, which is pretty good. So subscribe if you're new. Lots more Call of Duty content to come forth, and lots more video game content to come forth, and hopefully some more personality related things. So it's been Quadmft. Make sure to check out my social media links. They're all down in the description below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.